And what Mr. Lopez just, great. So the question says, pulse rates increase for most people after exercise. Explain why this connection between pulse rate and activity makes sense in your response. And then you have to answer each of these questions, okay? So what do you think the best way to go about doing this is?
Wait, I don't have that.
Go to the part that says, can you pull up the
Yep.
table of contents on the side? Yeah.
So do you have this, Veronica? The table of contents?
No.
No?
I don't know.
So are you
So
looking at
there's,
my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. There should be a little icon that says show document outline. And then you want to click that.
Mhm.
And then you go down to the lab part A1 analysis questions, and you click that.
did you find that, Veronica?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And then you scroll down. You're going to go through a few questions, and you're going to scroll down to question 10. Okay. Do you have that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so when you see a question like this, what do you think the best way to like start answering it would be?
Define the word pulse.
Okay, and you see that there's 5 different like bullet points, right? So how would you tackle each of those?
Bullet point each.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So I normally would just start with the first one, which says, just like you said, explain what a pulse is based on the background information. So where would we want to look to find the answer to this question? Where does it tell you you can find it? Where does this tell you you can find the answer based on the?
Based on your answers on the top.
Yeah. So if we want to scroll back up and find the background information section. So if we scroll up.
I did it already.
You did what?
Question 10.
Okay. Right. So I think you might have gone past it, Mr. Lopez.
Did I?
Oh, is it there?
Yeah.
Okay. So Veronica, I know that you did it, but the reason we asked you to come on this call is because we want to help you make some corrections.
Yeah.
So, okay, you actually want to go to Mr. Lopez, the lab part A1, looking for patterns. Okay. So Veronica, read this real quick and then tell me what a pulse is.
A pulse is a result of an expansion of blood vessels that occurs each time your heart beats. To send a surge of blood through the body, through your body. You can feel certain blood vessels pulse as this happens. One way to take your own pulse is illustrated below. As you press slightly, you should feel the pulsing of the blood.
Great. So based on that, what's the answer to that question? What do we want to type down on question 10?
I said a pulse is like a heart. It's like the heartbeats. Each heartbeat is a pulse.
Okay. And you feel that heartbeat because what did the text tell us? It's an expansion of our?
You can see my screen for some
blood
clues.
vessels.
Hmm.
Cool. So let's try to add that into our answer. So you said it's a heartbeat. Okay. Mr. Lopez, do you want to type what you would answer here?
Yeah.
Okay. And then Veronica, what did you say for the second question? Identify which two body systems work together when the pulse rate increases.
The nervous system and the circulatory system.
Okay, so you've got one of them. What does the circulatory system do?
It's a it's like the blood something.
Yeah, so it's the blood vessels in the heart.
Yeah.
Okay, and that blood has to get substances from somewhere before it starts moving around. So what kind of substances does the blood need to carry? Mr. Lopez has it in the answer to his first bullet point. What's one thing that we find in the blood?
Oxygen.
Right. And how does their body get the oxygen?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, how would you, if you needed more oxygen, what could you do to get more oxygen?
Breathe like calmly.
Yeah, breathe. So what system controls our breathing?
I don't know.
Starts with a C.
Starts with an R.
Ah, yes, that's right. Thinking of the first one.
Yeah,
Starts
so you
with
already
an
told me
R.
circulatory. And so the other one, Veronica, that has our lungs is the respiratory system.
Oh.
So anytime you talk about breathing, you're talking about the respiratory system. Okay. Third bullet point, identify which vital substances are carried in the bloodstream. So you already told me one thing that's in the blood, right? Do you remember what you told me was carried by the bloodstream?
Oxygen.
Yeah, oxygen. Can you think of any other things that might be carried?
I said the red blood cells, which is the transport the oxygen, and then the white cells, it produces antibodies.
So those are parts of the blood, white and red blood cells, but there's other things that your bloodstream carries with it. So oxygen is one, and we get oxygen from breathing. What do you get when you eat food? What does it get broken down into?
Nutrients and proteins.
Okay, so nutrients like glucose,
Glucose, yeah, too.
right? Or amino acids, like from the protein. Okay. Right. Do you remember what our body uses the oxygen and the glucose for?
No.
Mhm. So Lopez, you want to help Veronica out here?
Yeah. So think about what we need to just carry out normal daily functions in our body.
ATP.
And how do we produce ATP?
Um,
You remember the substances that we need? Right? So we need ATP, right? Because that's usable energy, right? But what substances, what molecules get turned into ATP?
proteins.
Think back. So remember we talked about cellular respiration,
Yeah.
right? What are some substances that we need for cellular respiration? It's all tied to the blood and what the blood is transporting throughout our body. Right? We said one of them, right? Oxygen.
Yeah.
So these substances are used to help to produce ATP.
Yeah, and maybe we add during cellular respiration, right? Because we want to remember that cellular respiration uses glucose and oxygen in order to create ATP. So then, why would your body during exercise need more of those substances? If you're exercising, are you going to need more ATP than normal?
Yeah. No. We need oxygen more.
Well, because the oxygen helps us create what? Look back at that last bullet point. The oxygen's used to make,
ATP.
right, which is just energy. So do you think if you're exercising, your muscles need more energy?
Yeah.
So that's our answer. Right? So when you're exercising, you start breathing faster to get oxygen so that your muscles can make the ATP.
Okay.
Okay.
Did that help, Veronica?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to add your name to my list of students, and I'll go back and I'll regrade this, and it should bring your grade up. So just make sure that you have all of this in your own document, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hope you feel better.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
And for any of our other students that have watched this video, please make sure that if you edit your own response, please put it in your own words. Don't just copy down what is on the screen here. And then email Mr. Lopez or Ms. Camp so that we know that you would like us to regrade your assignment. But just make sure if it is in the exact same words as what we've used here, we won't regrade it. You'll have to use your own words, but you can use this video to help you. Cool. Okay, I think that's it for us today, Mr. Lopez.
That's it. See ya.
Bye.